Imagine this opening scene: red roses flowing in the breeze, white picket fence, a red fire truck passes by with a man standing on waving happily high. This is the suburbia of middle America. Imagine an old man watering his lawn outside on a nice bright sunny day. He begins to pull on his hose and finds that it's tangled under some bush. He continues to pull. All of a sudden he has a heart attack and he falls onto his back while clinging onto the hose that sprays everywhere. He falls to his back and calls for help as he's dying. He ends up dying, and a little dog comes out and begins to drink the water from the hose that he's still holding onto. A young child comes out to see his grandfather lying dead. This comes from the great mind of David Lynch, who's considerably one of the greatest film directors of our common era. In fact, this was a scene that came from one of his critically acclaimed films known as Blue Velvet, which was released in 1986 according to IMDb. It was nominated for 3 Academy Awards, including for Best Director. Moreover, David Lynch is known for his sort of surrealistic pictures as well as cerebral artworks. In fact, he is oftentimes considerably one of the most unique film directors in Hollywood. In fact, he has had his own genre named after him, which is known as Lynchian. Moreover, David Lynch, in fact, inspires me as an artist, as a writer, and moreover, he serves as an inspiration to most aspiring artists out there. David Lynch's background, in fact, has essentially shaped and influenced most of his works. David Lynch was born in 1946 in Montana, and there he grew up in middle America in the 1950s. Moreover, David Lynch, after he had finished high school, he had attended an art school in Philadelphia, and there he eventually got into filmmaking, according to IMDb. And there he released his first feature-length film, which is known as Eraserhead. And the film itself is about a father who was essentially taking care of his mutated son. And this film was essentially based off of David Lynch at the time when he had just gotten married and had a newborn child that he had no idea how to take care of. Moreover, David Lynch oftentimes sort of portrays his films through the lens of this Americana essence, which had essentially derived much from his background. Moreover, David Lynch is known for sort of creating these artworks or these films that are essentially demented versions of Norman Rockwell paintings. Moreover, it is this type of brilliance that I find so inspiring by David Lynch, how he's able to sort of pull from his background and utilize it to his own sort of unique effort in creating art. Moreover, David Lynch inspires me as a writer, especially when I write screenplays. I often sort of emulate the dialogues of the sudden abruptness of certain characters' outlandish behaviors. Not only that, but I also sort of emulate and inadvertently write those plots that sort of can only be understood through a metaphysical plane. Moreover, in conclusion, David Lynch serves as an inspiration to me and to most aspiring artists out there. In fact, he is considerably one of the greatest film directors of our common era, and has won numerous awards and is, by far one of my favorite directors as well. Moreover, David Lynch serves as an inspiration to most aspiring artists out there. In fact, he's living proof that anyone who has a unique vision can use it to their own benefit. All right, thank you.